So I think one of the biggest things that keeps us all stuck is fear. Fear of getting it wrong, fear of making mistakes, fear of what might happen next, and fear of what if it doesn't all work out. And the problem is, fear often feels like it's protecting us. But the truth is, a lot of the time, it just actually distracts us from the present, where we are right now. And if anything, it just holds you back from taking action. Now you think about it, fear can really come from sort of two areas of life. And that's really from the past or the future. We worry about stuff that's happened, or we worry about what might be coming. But the truth is, it's very rare that worrying about the past or the future actually helps us do something today. So if you're new here, my name's Carl. I'm 46, fast approaching 47, and I'm rebuilding my life from scratch in my late 40s and building the next chapter. And this channel documents that journey, everything that works, doesn't work, and the lessons I learn along the way. So if you find this video helpful, please subscribe. And my God, it is hot today. But anyhow, let's continue before I faint. So as I say, there's two types of fear. Let's look at the first one, the past. Now, I don't think I'll be the only one here that says there are times when my brain gets stuck in the past. Mistakes that I've made, things that hasn't worked out, stupid decisions. We find ourselves sort of focusing on all the negative. And before we know it, that past starts predicting where we are today. And we tell ourselves things like, because it happened before, it'll happen again. I failed in the past, I'll fail again now. I made a mistake, I'll just make the same mistake again. I got hurt in the past, so someone's just gonna hurt me again. And all that happens is we kind of use that past to almost predict what we do today. Think about it, if you've got that kind of getting hurt example, you've been hurt in the past and you think, oh, I'll just get hurt in the future. It just closes the doors, puts blocks in the way of maybe new relationships, that kind of thing. You go for like a new career or something and you don't pass that interview. So you think, well, that's happened in the past, I failed, it won't happen again. So you never try again. And that fear of the past can keep you really, really stuck today in the present. And don't get me wrong, we should learn by our mistakes in the past, but it should never be something that holds us back. Every single person is capable of change. And no matter what's gone in the past, you can use it to kind of bury you and stop you doing anything going forward, or you can use it to be the foundations to where you sort of grow from. So that's kind of fear in the past. What about fear in the future? This is those what if conversations you have with yourself. We all do it, come on, don't we? Things like, what if my job goes? What if I run out of money? What if my health has an issue? What if the relationship doesn't work out? What if I fail? And the big one, what if I'm not good enough? And do not get me wrong, some of these sort of what ifs, these worries, are cause concern. But the truth is, a lot of these worries never actually materialize. I read something somewhere that the stuff we worry about, 15% of the time, the thing happens, but nowhere near as bad as we kind of thought it would happen. And actually then only 3% of that is actually as bad as we thought it would be. 3%. But how much worry do we put into things that just actually just drains our energy for absolutely zero reason whatsoever? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's easy. This is something I really struggle with myself. But it is wasted energy. In some ways, it's our brain just trying to keep us safe. Your brain craves certainty, but unfortunately, certainty very rarely exists in life. And if it did exist, you probably find you get bored. All that worry really actually does at the end of the day, just takes you out of the present, where you are now, the things you should be enjoying, and just leaves you in a pretty miserable place. So we have to learn to live with fear. And there's stuff we're going to have to do, actions we're going to have to take, where we kind of feel that fear, but we do it anyhow. And the only way that fear sort of reduces is by working through it and doing the thing. Because the truth is, if we wait to do anything, whether that's an action or something we want to do, if we wait until we're completely certain it'll be a good time, or wait until the fear completely goes, the truth is we're never going to move, we're never going to take any action, and nothing will ever change. For me, something I've learned recently, it's about accepting there's an element of fear, finding the simplest thing I can do to start moving towards what I want, and do the thing no matter how I'm feeling. So how would you learn to start dealing with the fear? For me, it was about getting it out of my head. And I did that by journaling. Now, journaling does not have to be fancy, just a simple notebook and a pen. I find that works better than sort of typing, but you do you. Just get the thing out of your head. What's the thing that's bothering you? What's the thing that's worrying you? Write it down. And then sort of ask yourself, is this something that's based on the past, or is it something based on the future? And then just ask yourself, is this fear actually real, or is this my brain trying to predict worst case scenario? Because I bet a lot of the time you'll find it's that your brain's predicting the worst case, and that's just your brain trying to keep you safe. And here's the thing, if you don't do this, a fear in your mind will just grow. Think about it. If there's something bothering you and just leave it fester in your head, how big does that fear become? I like to think of like kind of writing it down as kind of a download. It just gets it out. And I think once you can see it in black and white, you can process it a lot better. But once it's written down, then what? Well, the truth is there's kind of two ways forward, isn't there? Ask yourself a question. First of all, is this something in my control? This thing that I'm worried about, is there actually anything I can do about it? If the answer you find is no, then the best thing you can do is try and let it go. I'm not saying that's going to be easy, but in life, if there's things completely outside your control, it's just a waste of energy trying to do anything about it. What if the answer is yes, there is something you can do about it? Well, here's something that I use that actually has worked for me for quite a few years now to help me sort of process stuff. Ask yourself, what's the outcome that I need to resolve this? And once you've got that outcome of what you actually want that to look like, ask yourself, what's the very next step I need to take to start resolving this problem? You don't need a whole plan to start sort of resolving it. Just the very next step. Maybe that's send a message. Maybe that's book an appointment, have an awkward conversation. Because the truth is, once it's written down and you start taking action, even a small step, the relationship with fear starts to change because your brain knows you're actually starting to do something about it. You're not ignoring it anymore. So let's give you a bit of a working example. Let's say you're in a really toxic work environment at the moment and you absolutely hate it and you're worried about your job. Okay, what's the outcome that I want? I want a job where I feel happy and it covers my bills. What's the next action? I'm going to update my CV. Simple. That's the next step. Let's say you have a health concern. You're worried about a lump you found. Well, what's the outcome I want? I want to make sure that this is okay and it's not going to affect me. What's the next action? Call the doctor. Once we kind of get things out of our head and get clear on the next simple steps, it really can reduce that kind of mental load. And if we don't do it, let's be honest, how many times have we left something like that and we just dwell on it for months and months and months before actually taking the first step anyhow? So in summary, the truth is fear is a normal part of life. It's one of many of emotions that we experience day to day. And I think it's particularly true when you're going through a big life change, when you kind of rebuild that next chapter or create something new. It can really show up when you're outside of your comfort zone. But fear does not have to be in charge. Learn from the past, prepare for the future, but ultimately live and act in the present. Live for today, where you are right now. Because let's be honest, right now, this present moment is the only time that matters. It's the only time you can take action and make any kind of change. So I'm going to leave it there. What do you think? Do you find yourself living more in fear than actually being present? As I say, it's something I'm still working on, but I'm curious to see if you find yourself in the same boat. And if it is something you kind of resonate with and like to sort of maybe do some work on, I've got a link below in the description where I help people with this kind of thing. And guess what? By making that first sort of, what they call it, call to action right now in this video, what am I doing? I'm facing a fear. So what's a fear you'd like to sort of face up to and deal with? Let me know in the comments. And I'll wind it up there. Thanks for watching. As always, please like. It really helps me out. And if you've got this far and you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers for now.